YouTube, Alan back with a package and pickups video, and this is going to be all about Play. Well, Play Expo and a small bit from Manchester. Tony's not with me, so it'll have to be on my lonesome, although he does have a small little pickup from Play too. So whenever next time we're doing one, yes, doing a video, we'll go over that. But anyway, Play Expo, I'm completely swamped with stuff here. But before I get on to that, kind of pre-play, I had arranged to pick some stuff up off Tushy UK, and as we were in the queue, he spotted me, came running over, and a bag, and it was good for him, so he didn't have to carry it around all day. But this stuff was largely actually for my sister, but there was a few bits for me, and they were on the N64, Shadows of the Empire. I'm assuming this is in shot. So it's boxed in nice condition, complete. Never played it. Know that it's got great reviews, and well, no, it's got mixed reviews. But the hot level was meant to be very good, and as an early N64 title, you know, not too bad at all. And as a Brucey bonus, he threw in a memory card, because I was very short on PlayStation 2 memory cards, and at the time he should have said, he was sending me over a package, because basically he'd loads on them he's picked up at car boots. I then went on a bit of a run and I managed to pick up a couple afterwards, but he very kindly threw one in, so thankfully my PlayStation 2 memory card crisis seems to have abated for now. So what else did he pick up? Well, as I said, not for me, but it was a bag of stuff. Good stuff, all thematic, for my sister, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and he very kindly baggied it up. These are all in very nice condition. A boxed Mario 64. She's not a collector, she just likes the N64, but he happened to get a box copy, so why not? And it's in nice condition. Two cracking games, I mean, two of the reasons to own the system in my book. And speaking about the system, we have the N64 itself. Presumably this must have originally at some point been in electronic games, given that there's an electronic games sticker there. And it's got the TV cable and whatnot, and a very nice controller. There we go, really nice condition, sticks and, you know, really clean and whatnot. So I don't know if did it come like this or did you clean it up or what, but yeah, pretty damn nice. So I'm sure she'll be very pleased to be able to play her N64 again, because I'm nicking mine. Although slight mishap, did forget the power, but we'll rectify that. She'll have to wait some longer. So N64 stuff for the family, as it were, from Tushi. So this was kind of pre-play, as I said, just in the queue. He was delighted, so I didn't have to carry the bag around. But yeah, on to the show itself. I'm not going to talk about the show in terms of, you know, who is seen and, you know, games played and all that sort of stuff. I'll do another video at some point on that, you know, thoughts on the Play Expo. This is purely packages and pickups. So there was quite a few stall holders, and on the Saturday I kind of went around and did pick up a fair few bits. I thought about picking up a few consoles and whatnot, but I was going Ryanair, didn't really think I'd managed to get Anton in the carry-on, which I certainly wouldn't have. It was actually difficult just to get this stuff in the carry-on. But there was like a box Jaguar for 60 that I was very interested in. I had to pass that up on, and there was a box Neo Geo CD for 100, which didn't seem too bad either. It looked in absolutely great condition. But anyway, I'm sure they'll come along another day. So before we get into the what was bought with cash money, we'll go with what was free. Nintendo were doing, basically, if you play a DS game and you play a Wii U game, you could get this card stamped, and they had this kind of prize wheel thing where you spin a wheel and you get a prize, the swag wheel or something. And the guy who was running that was great fun. But when I handed in my card, he said, oh, what are you hoping to get? And I said, well, either the Pikmin or Zelda. And so I spun it, and it looked like it was stopping on Zelda. And just at the last second then they kind of back to Pokemon, which are these Pokemon hat things. and he was like, "Oh, so close." And then he hands me the Zelda stickers anyway. But underneath it, he very kindly also threw in the the Pikmin keyring. So that was very nice. He was a great guy though. He was playing. It's a keyring-a-rooney. That's what this is. So I got both. Yay! That stall was actually great, by the way. Yeah, games. So many. Where to start? Let's start at the beginning, as they say. In Attic Bug. They were the people that I bought the foot pedal off before on eBay, and they had the Jaguar. Did some nice stuff, and they were fairly nice to deal with. There was two big sellers, I should say. It was Console Passion and Attic Bug, and it's funny the difference dealing with them. I picked up three things in the Attic Bug. First up, they had a game for the Gamecom, Fighters Megavix, £6. It's sealed, so it's kind of new, although the top has obviously been crushed a bit. Now, I'll probably leave it sealed because, let's be honest, do I really need to play Fighters Megamix on the Gamecom? No. So this one's staying sealed, and it's actually incredibly light too. It's Virtua Fighter 2 versus Fighting Vipers. And now, in the screenshots, it actually looks pretty okay, but I'm sure it plays terrible on console. But, yeah. Apparently, if you have the Game Link cable, you can also play two-player. Use the compete.com cable sold separately. This was a terrible name for a system. Game.com. Ugh. But anyway, yeah, it's a Sega game, so I was definitely they had another one, kind of a classic collection. They had loads of copies of that, but I just picked up the Sega one. And then I think this was okay. Now I know which two it is. They had some Atari 7800 stuff. There was actually a fair bit of Atari 7800 stuff at the show, and I was somewhat behaved. I tried to just keep it to the titles that I was more interested in, or could do a deal on. And the first one that I seen in that kind of fell into that category was an arcade port. So I was kind of thinking this would be pretty good. It is Xevious. Obviously an Atari 7800, given that's what I'm talking about now. It's dangerous, it's devious, it's Xevious. This is complete. They had most of the stuff there was complete that they had. So cartridge is in great condition. The manual is a typical, LGB Atari 7800 manual, but and the box has got the crunching at the bottom. Ugh, these boxes are so badly designed. They make Nintendo boxes look like the most durable design known to man. But yeah, Xevious, obviously it's a port of the arcade game. For 1 or 2 player, 4 skill levels, for use with the Atari 7800 series. And so I was definitely interested to see how they converted this to a good arcade game. I don't know about the 7800 version, but the 7800 does have some pretty decent arcade translations. Double Dragon is fun in its own way. Donkey Kong's not too bad too. So I was definitely going to pick it up. This was 10, by the way. And then they also had Map Mania. Now this one I believe is brand new. It's got a little bit of the crunching going on there. The reason why I believe it's brand new, because although I opened the outer plastic, which has a foreign language manual here, it is also shrink wrapped again inside, and it's got a hang tab on the shrink wrap. So I'm assuming this is actually a brand new game, which wouldn't you know it. Oh, that's actually what they say here on the back too. Wouldn't you know it? You drew Bruno the Sledge, 5-time champion and all-round bad guy, as your first opponent in the quest for the elusive Atari Wrestling Federation. So it's a wrestling game. Because I don't know if this is an original seal or not, I'm leaving it for now. It's one of those, the collector in me is going, is this sealed? And then, should I leave it sealed? Oh, not that whole debate again. Let's not get into it. It's wrestling. I'm not going to play it straight away anyway, so it's staying sealed for now. But if you know if that's an original seal or not, let me know. So that was 10 as well. So the two Atari games were 10 each, and then the Pamgaea was 6. So at first I asked them, what, are you going to, do you do deals for buying, multiple items? And they said to them, yeah, obviously it varies depending on what you buy and how much you buy. And I went around and, as I said, I was looking at the console and a few bits that I was interested in, but I said, okay, for now I'll have to leave it with just these three, and what will you do a deal on? And they said 20. And I was thinking, that's a pretty good deal. So basically you can say this one was free because these two were 20. So yeah. And there was no real tough haggling or anything. It was just straight, yeah, go on. Presumably they were like, take it, it's Gamecom. Jesus Christ. So yeah, we'll go with free then. We'll go with free stuff next. Now, my favourite stall was the Retro Collect stall. Great games, tournaments, so on. But as I said, I'll discuss that in another video. But they also had a free section. And help myself that. Ha, I love free. To be fair, there was other people that were taking more, so I don't feel too guilty. And I tried to only take stuff that I was interested in. And the first thing that I was interested in, I even left the Master System game, which I have, which is why I left, but I was looking at going, that box is in better condition than mine. But no, I figured someone else who's interested in Master System and doesn't have that game would appreciate it more than I would. So, first up is something I did need, and that's an NES controller. I do have two controllers, but one of them it's got a little stickiness to it. So this one is a very nice controller, and for free, yeah, that's brilliant. It's actually in really nice condition. It's nicer than any of mine. So, NES controller. Now, a collection, or well, a system that I don't think I have any games for, and I picked this up. So maybe down the line I'll get. Oh no, I definitely do want to get one into the collection at some point, but it's definitely not my top kind of system to go for. It's for the Spectrum, and it's Renegade. What's that? Encore or the Hit Squad. So of course it's a tape, and it's got its little insert and all that. I love how they have screenshots on the back, and they go screenshots taken from different formats, and it's like, yeah, clearly, because the graphics, certainly in the bottom left corner, they ain't a Spectrum. They're probably an Amstrad. So I liked Renegade. Certainly enjoyed it on the Master System, completed that game, and I've heard that the Spectrum games, especially Target Renegade, are quite good. So when I seen this, I was like, yeah, definitely I'll take that. Free, can't complain. And while not a Spectrum, I actually thought this was a Spectrum game to begin with, because it's tape. I don't know why, I just assumed that. It's for the Commodore 64, and it's a Space Harrier on the Encore label. So, if I do that, there we go. It looks okay. I'm not too sure how it plays, although this time they've actually labelled Commodore 64 screenshot, Spectrum screenshot, and Amstrad screenshot, which is a lot fairer. And it's written by the same team who wrote Commando and Ghosts and Goblins, Keith Burkill and Chris Butler. So it's nice to see the developers getting a bit of, well, the people who ported it to Commodore 64 getting a bit of credit. It's Space Harrier, it's Sega, need I say more? Well, I guess you could say, when are you getting a Commodore 64 or a Spectrum? At some point. They actually had a few Commodores I was tempted to get too, because of course, shipping one of those power supplies for something like an Amiga, God lord, that'll cost a fortune. Bringing it over on the airplane, if they didn't weigh it, would obviously be free. But anyway, I didn't. So, a bit more modern. A game that I've seen in, CX and places like that a few times, but just held off. It's got a decent reputation though, and that's Legacy of Kain Defiance. It looks kind of like a hack and slash game. If it is, that's good. Nice and complete too. Unleash your inner evil. Yeah, we all like to do that from time to time. Oh yeah, and the disc is fine too. So, that's one of the more modern things picked up. As I said, this series I think it's on the PlayStation as well, or started on the PlayStation, and that is it called Blood Omen, or am I completely mixing up series? It's meant to be quite good. In fact, it's a game series I think Tony would like. Certainly the PlayStation one that I've seen, I think it'd be right up his alley. And then the final item from Retro Collect is a big box PC game. They had a few of them. I've seen some people nab some nice ones, including like a big box Ultima with a map and everything. Very, very nice. And this one here is the only one I picked up, partly because I figured they're going to take up so much space in the bag. I can't really take too many of them. But this is Betrayal at Krondor. It's an epic fantasy role playing from the mind of Raymond E. Feist. So it's a role playing game. It's for your VGA enabled MS DOS. Let's open her up. And I love the way that these things were packaged, beyond like obviously being in a big box. It's like 7 floppy disks. Good lord. Talk about changing discs. I love the cover of this manual. It's really nice finish on it. And it's only black and white, or well, green. It's like a Game Boy, kind of a greeny colour track, but it is well printed. It's definitely and it's what was it, 88 pages all in English. You know, this is back when they did proper manuals, and then they have, you know, other little bits and bobs. They've got, you know, warranty and installation information and so on. So yeah, when back then when they did, you know, proper boxed content, it did sort of make sense, and it certainly made the game feel a bit more epic. You're buying this big box with a lot of stuff in it. You know, all those stuff. Us collectors especially, just like stuff. Kept buying stuff. So new full English version, Krondor for the PC, by Dynamics as well. So I have a feeling that's probably a pretty decent game. But I'm very new to the PC, so just like the Spectrum stuff and whatnot, it's an area I'm going to have to get into over time. I'm going to continue on now on the Saturday, because all this was Saturday shopping. Very, very little afterwards. I pretty much blew my budget. Okay. Weird. No, that's Sunday. Move that out of the way. So, on Saturday then, I hit up Console Passion. Console Passion had a lot of nice stock, a lot of import stuff as well, a lot of nice consoles. They even had a glass display with some of their kind of more desirable items. And the stuff was priced reasonable. It wasn't eBay prices, but it wasn't cheap either. You weren't getting like caribou prices. But then again, they're a shop, they know their business. So I picked out a number of items, and well, may as well go through them. Well, first up we have Game Gear item. A game I already own, but I only had a loose cart. But it's Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. This is complete. Inside is in excellent condition, and the box is in pretty nice condition as well for, you know, Game Gear. Little dog-eared at the top, but pretty much I'm happy with that. There's a sticker residue. I'll get that off. Now the reason why I bought it again is because I love Wonder Boy 3. It's like my favourite Master System game, and I just wanted it for the collection to be complete. And I'll trade on or move on to the other copy of Wonder Boy 3. It's an absolutely excellent game. I actually do intend to play the Game Gear game through properly. Problem is, I'd have to write down the passwords. I'm lazy, because it doesn't have a save battery, which is so unfortunate. And they have adjusted it ever so slightly to fit the format of the Game Gear. It's basically the same game, but tweaked to suit the smaller resolution. But if you haven't, you've got to try out this game. It's absolutely epic. So move it over here. Now, as I said, there was plenty of Atari 7800 games, and I did have to behave. I was tempted to pick up a few more, but I only picked up one in Console Passion. If I brought more money, I probably would have bought more. And the one I did pick up, again, a bit like Wonder Boy, is a game I already own. It's my favourite game on the system. I absolutely love this game, and it's Ikari Warriors. A bit like the Master System. I have a loose copy. I wanted a box complete copy. It's got the usual slightly crushed bottom. But other than that, like the carton manual are all in good condition. Not going to take them out. Great game. This is basically a commando type of clone, Probably more famous on the NES. This is better than the NES game or the NES port because it's an arcade game. It's just better realized on the 7800. I think was it Activision were behind this. Not too sure, but myself and Tony did actually do a gameplay video on this, but unfortunately it didn't turn out very well. The screen quality was crap. We'll have to try and do it again because Tony also really likes this game. It was a surprise when he played it. If you do a 7800, you should definitely check this out. Well worth it. And this was sorry, I forgot to say, Wonder Boy was 13 and this was 10. So of course I have two traders. I kind of feel like I'm missing something, but maybe not. Now, one slight mistake I made. I didn't realise it at the time. I was looking through the Nintendo section and it had some nice box games. And again, they were priced accordingly. So I seen one, and it's part of a series from the 16-bit era that I want to pick up the games from. Certainly the platforming games. And I thought it was fairly priced. And it is Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Bus Loose. This was a tenner. And to be fair, it's in fantastic condition. All the inserts and everything are perfect. There's not a mark on this thing really. It really is in collector's condition. So for tenner, I absolutely was happy with it. One thing I didn't realise was, and again from the box I should have known, this is the American version. Yeah, I don't have an American SNES, and I don't have my SNES modded yet to play imports, so I can't play this. But it's in such good condition that I can't complain either way. 10 quid for a SNES game in this day and age is pretty much cheap. And with no packaging or anything on top, or shipping. I like the bottom as well. They say it's for one bunny, which I thought was cute. It looks good fun. I only played the Mega Drive game, the Mega Drive Tiny Toons game, and I thought it was good, so I wanted to try this out. I'll have to wait a little longer. But yeah, at a tenner, you can't go wrong. So, lastly, then we have a few Mega Drive games. On reflection, I possibly should have picked up more cardboard box games because they're harder to ship. But these seem to be the titles I was interested in, and they were fairly priced. And the first one is kind of unique because it's an FPS game on the Mega Drive. It's the closest the Mega Drive has to Doom before the 32X actually had Doom. And it does a bloody good job of bringing that type of gameplay to an unexpanded Mega Drive. And it is zero tolerance. What's the tagline? You don't play this game, you survive it. Oh! So this is complete and in great condition. If games weren't complete, they actually had a not complete or missing manual on the sticker. So everything in the store was in these baggies with a sticker on it. So kudos, because it made shopping a hell of a lot easier. I always hate when you go into retro places and there's no prices on anything. So yeah, that was good. I've played this game before in emulation. I enjoyed it, and for 6 quid I was definitely in this condition as well, wanting to add it to the collection. So over here you go. Another one that I wanted to add to the collection for a long time it's a bit of an unusual, and these days the name gives you a totally different meaning. It's the Cheeky Cheeky Boys. The sisters are the brothers to the Cheeky Cheeky Girls, and it's 8, again, complete in decent condition. Now, back in the day, I actually did play this, but only briefly in a place called Retro Zone, or is it Mega Zone, where you could rent time on a Mega Drive, and you could pick the games you wanted to play in the time, and you could swap them out if you still had time to go. And one of them I tried out and thought it looked a bit like a Wonder Boy type of game, was this Cheeky Cheeky Boys. So it's a little uncommon, it seems to find. I don't know who's it by. Is it by Capcom or something? Yeah, Capcom reprogrammed game. So it's a Capcom game. So it can't be too bad. I guess I didn't get very far when I was younger. So there's my chance to give it another go. Now we're on to the big pickup. Most of the stuff was relatively low cost. Wonder Boy being the more expensive one. Um, this is easily the most expensive item I picked up at the show. It's a game in a series that I really enjoy the series, especially the sequel. Myself and Tony still play it again and again and again. We've been requested to play this game, so I know a lot of you probably already know, and some of you that I met at the show will know already. And they had a console patch in it, and it was in the glass case. Now I know what this goes for, and they know what it goes for. So, you know, it was a tough one. It's a game that's not rare. It's a little uncommon, but it's always on eBay, and always selling for a very similar price. Which is why I decided I would save myself the hassle of shipping, and see if I could bundle it with the other games and maybe get a bit of a deal. So, abrupt cut there because my stupid phone decided, I've only got 15% of power left. Time to stop recording. You swear it was trying to. What is this? No, I'm not telling you what the game is. The game in question is Streets of Rage 3. Now, love the Streets of Rage series, as I was alluding to. This is in a way the black sheep of the family. Late release, a lot of content was cut out. It was edited quite a bit from the Japanese. It was made a lot harder over here. Music isn't as classic, but it's a Streets of Rage game. I've only played it in emulation. I've played it with Tony in emulation. We enjoyed it, but nowhere near as much as the others. But you know, it's Streets of Rage, and it's in mint condition. Like, the insides are absolutely spotless. So it was, not sure if that would come across, 45, which for those that have seen auctions, that's certainly what it's going for. It's a reasonable price. So we had the three Mega Drive games, the SNES game, Atari 7800 game, and Wonder Boy. And they came, there we go, they came to something like 92, so that was my big outlay for the trip. And I said to the guy who opened up the case to show me Streets of Rage, I said, do you do deals on, if I bundle stuff together, would you knock a few quid off, type of thing? He said, oh, it really depends on how much you're selling or buying, which is, to be expected. And I said, so okay, if I get Streets of Rage with this lot, what would you be able to do? So he adds it up and says, well, that comes to 92. That's really not very much. It's pretty insignificant, so I couldn't do anything. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? He said, well, because I had asked about a Neo Geo, he said, if you bought the Neo Geo as well, which is 100 quid, so it'd be 192 quid, then maybe then I could knock 10, 15 quid off. And I was thinking, okay, well, that's quite a bit of money then. He said, oh, well, really, you have to be spending 500 or 600. We've had people spending 500 or 600, and then you might get a bit of a discount. And I'm thinking, Christ almighty, okay, I'm not saying I'm looking for, a 10, 20% discount or anything like that, but even at 92, you expect them to say, oh, we'll just leave it at 90. Not the best discount, but something. So eventually, after kind of hemming and hawing, kind of thinking this guy's he wasn't the best to deal with. He got distracted. I picked up the stuff, went to another person that was working there and said, what do you do on these? And he adds something and goes, well, they're 92. The best I can do is 85. In fact, I think I might have said to him, would you do them for 85? And he says, yeah, that's probably the best I can do. So apparently you got to ask different people that. So maybe I should have just kept going around until I could get the price down lower. 70 or 85 wasn't too bad, given that there was box SNES games, box Atari games, and Streets of Rage 3 being kind of a pricey title. And one that I wanted. Like, these titles are all titles purely for the collection. They weren't bought for the sake of being bought. They're titles that I wanted. And that was kind of the target. Well, except for, you could say, the free stuff. But no, even the free stuff I picked up, I was interested in. There was lots of other stuff that I left. But yeah. So that ended up Saturday. On Sunday, I didn't buy too much. Played more games and that type of thing. I did pick up another Mega Drive game, and this was from another store. I don't remember its name. Oh wait, it's on it. Retro Rehab Games. Very mixed prices. Some of them were okay, some of them not so okay. There was one place, it could have been this one. Their N64 stuff was just way too dear. But yeah, this is another game that I remember reading back in Mean Machines. Just thought it looked interesting. There was something about its style and its setting. Maybe people call it steampunk now. So yeah, maybe it goes for less. I don't know the value of this game, but it wasn't that expensive anyway. And it's Empire of Steel, Flying Edge game. So which was of course Acclaim, another, so that they could publish games for Sega. But yeah, it's complete as well. And it was £8. That's the only thing I bought there, so I wasn't going to haggle on that one. It's basically a shooting up where you fly a blimp, or I don't know. It just has that 1920s vibe mixed in with the future. Hard to explain, but I've always been drawn to it. It'll probably be rubbish now after all that wait. Another stall, I don't remember the name. They were doing kind of a bargain bucket and all that. But outside of the bargain bucket, they had some Dreamcast games that I was interested in. Now the first day, they were a little pricey, so I passed them. The second day, I noticed that they had dramatically reduced the price. And one game in particular, I thought, I'll take a chance on this. On the first day, this was 12, but they dropped it down to 5 the second day, which is Jet Set Radio. It's in Dreamcast condition, so the bloody case is broken at the bottom. But the disc and the manual are all there and all fine. God, I hate these Dreamcast cases. So there we go. So what I'll probably do is get another cheap game. The next one coming up may end up being a candidate, and swap boxes. Next game was only £2. I don't have it, but I know it's super common, and it is Choo Choo Rocket, and this one includes a Dream Key, so I can go online and browse the internet. Woo! Internet browser. The future is here. What was it? Yeah, they have online gaming to register and whatnot. So there we go, and Choo Choo on the other side. And it's in great condition, so for £2, another one to the Dreamcast collection. So now I have a few Dreamcast games and still no system. I really should rectify that. I hate this thing as well where the insert kind of folds back on Dreamcast games. It bugs me. I'll see if I can get those straightened out, but it tends not to be that easy to do. Just when they're up on the shelf, then you don't know what it is. But yeah, that was £7 for 2 Dreamcast games, which other than the box really is fine. And that was it for the show. That was all the pickups. But then again, that was enough pickups, I think, really. There was a few other bits I picked up in Manchester. Well, I don't have it with me, but it's probably in the washing. I did pick up something else in the show. Retro Collect t-shirt. It's in the washing. And I also picked up a Sonic the Hedgehog t-shirt, which is in the washing. And that was in Alton Towers, where it was half price at $7.50. So, there we go. Pop that as well. We also went to the arcade, and they had those ticket redemption machines, and I picked up these Pac-Man sheets out of them too. Waka 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 waka. So, no, hadn't got the great stuff to redeem. Tony got a load of Mao, so he was happy. Other than that, we're getting there. It's sort of modern. Went into game, kind of complained, why did you leave Ireland? You've left me with bloody GameStop. That's just terrible. And I picked up a few games. One on its own, it was £2, and that's Rhythm Paradise. It's complete. I've played this a bit. It's okay. I tend to get stuck in it though. So £2 is kind of what I would find as my limit. But it's a Nintendo game, and I did enjoy. Until I got stuck, I was kind of enjoying it, but then it just seemed to be a complete roadblock. And then the last three were kind of a 3 for 2, and these were $12.99 each. The first one is an RPG, and it's Dragon Quest VI: Realms of Reverie. Apparently these Dragon Quest games, especially 4 and 5, are getting tricky to find. And it had Nintendo points in it, which is good. Published by Nintendo, so. So did the other one, actually. And these next two did not, but then again, they're Sega ones. This one here is, I guess you could say this was a free one because it's not as if I needed it. It's Sonic's Classic Collection, so it's Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic & Knuckles on the DS. Emulation, I think the guy who was involved in this might have wrote one of the homebrew emulators as well, if I recall correctly. Maybe I just made that up. But I think he wrote an emulator and then Sega contracted him to do this or something using that emulator. Now, I've heard that they're not the best ports, but it's Sonic, so that was kind of for the collection. And something I didn't have, a game that at least in its Wii incarnation is meant to be quite good. Still on the Sega vibe, still with Sonic to end it all, and it is Sonic Colors. So, Dr. Robotnik's Incredible Interstellar Amusement Park. As I said, haven't played Sonic Colors, but it got good reviews. The Wii version does look better. Never been mad keen on the DS Sonic game. There's something about the graphical style I don't really like, the polygons and the whatnot. But it's Sonic. The games have been improving in quality to Sonic games, so I'm hoping this one is good. And that is it. That is the last item. I don't know why I had a feeling that something was from Australia. For some reason I was thinking I picked up a game from Australia. Where did that come into my mind? But anyway, there we go. A whole pile of stuff. It was a great weekend. Did some great shopping and can't wait to go back. And I'll have to do a video on thoughts on the Expo, but I'm going to try and wait and do that with Tony, which is why we haven't done a video. And we need a bit of a break because, there's so much going on and we have to get back to normality. But anyway, rambling. Thanks as always for watching and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.